Sports and...
Well, Al, that's right. If those of you who will be watching the Big 8 championship game are disappointed by Missouri and Oklahoma, we will be truly surprised because the top two seeds have made it to the championship game of this tournament. I'm Al Trautwig working with my answer to Dick Vitale, Cheryl Miller, and these two teams are as powerful as they get. Oklahoma with the running offense and with the pressure defense ranked 2 in the country right now, Missouri ranked number 10. Why has Oklahoma been such a mystery here? They've struggled against teams they shouldn't have struggled against.
One reason is Stacey King. Stacey King, I fell in love with Stacey King when they played Las Vegas, and he scored 48 points. Stacey King is a valuable part of this Oklahoma team. He can go inside, outside, and he's a great defensive player.
And with all those expectations that Stacey has given us for his play, we wondered why he seemed to be out of the game at times, as Oklahoma had to go to 2 overtimes to beat Colorado, and then went to the last-second heroics to beat Iowa State to reach this final. Now, as far as Missouri is concerned, we know they can beat Oklahoma. They did it once this season. Oklahoma won the other meeting. Who's their star and what's his status?
Byron Irving first hurt his groin and was out. And now he's coming off the bench. He is Missouri's best player. You have shooters, Al, and then you have scorers. Byron Irving is a scorer.
And there will be a lot of scoring today, we think, in the Big 8 championship game. Some of you will see that. Others of you will see the Pac-10 championship today on ABC Sports. Let's return you now to Gary Bender. Gary?
ABC's college basketball continues with regional coverage as Arizona takes on Stanford for the Pac-10 title. Or you'll see Missouri battle Oklahoma
with double overtime. Squeaking by Colorado, and then the 76-74 victory over Iowa State yesterday with Jones' three-pointer at the end. Coward's got it up, and it goes. And it's 6-0 the Tigers.
Well, we mentioned Coward's back in the ball game, and so is Smith. They've been missing from the Tiger offense. Both these guys played real well offensively in this tournament.
Stacey King scores it off the glass. He was fouled by Leonard. Leonard's first. Leonard at 7'1", the tallest of the Tigers.
Gary Leonard, a 7'1" center for Missouri, going on King right here, but King with that left hand gets it around him. Leonard trying to keep his hands out of there, but look at right there. He just comes down and chops Stacey King.
And we'll see right there the familiar Stacey King dice throw very early in the game. He usually saves that till late. That might show some intensity on Oklahoma's part today.
Rebounded by Smith, and down come the Tigers, up 6-4. And Bodie kicking it back out to Peeler. Smith inside. He's been on a tear. It won't go for him. Leonard with a big tap in.
Left-handed, Gary Leonard.
I'm thinking they should, if that ball's up there, they ought to bring it down and take it up strong, but he just knocked it down with the left hand.
Another foul in underneath.
No, it's a jump.
Oh, they're going to call it a jump. They are a tie-up.
And Gary Leonard did it again at the other end.
The arrow pointing for Oklahoma. The Sooners averaging 103.7 per game.
Well, the Tigers, the only time they scored 100 points and lost was twice. It was against the Sooners. Once this year, of course, at Norman, and also last year.
That shot by Blaylock wouldn't go, and then they turn it over as they tried to come back with it. Jumper along the line. Wouldn't go down for Henry, and it's tapped up and in. That is King, who has all 4 points.
Good air ball shot there. Fell right in King's hands.
17 minutes to play in the first half of the Big 8 championship game. The field goal shooting early.
Missouri really working down inside, getting people on the block.
3-second violation. And that is the third turnover against Missouri.
And we repeat what we said many times. The emphasis this year has been on the 3-second call to clean up the lane, and we've seen a lot of 3-second calls in this Big 8 tournament.
Stacey King. And King has 2 as he scores over Leonard. 6 points for King.
Leonard's going to have to be more aggressive to find out how far he can go as far as body contact, but he's got to force King out higher and further away from the basket to get the ball. Otherwise, he's going to kill him down inside that ball.
Here's a foul as Leonard turned with the ball. King commits the foul. Number 1 on King. Billy Tubbs, born in St. Louis, Missouri. Grew up in Tulsa. Here it is.
Power no pass to Peeler on the baseline. Goes up, drops it back inside again to Leonard, and then the grab, and Leonard's on the line.
Of course, we mentioned at the outset, Missouri knocked Oklahoma from #1 with that victory in Columbia earlier this year. And Jay and Gary, I love Billy Tubbs' attitude about #1. You know, most coaches shy from it. He says, hey, bring it on.
Yeah,
if they want volunteers, I'll be #1.
He's happy to take it. Leonard, a 60.6% free throw shooter. out of East High School, Belleville, Illinois. 5 points for Leonard, 9-6 Missouri.
Leonard, a pretty fair 2 ball games against the Sooners this year, 31 points and 15 rebounds.
Stacey King gets it in. Davis off the glass for 2.
Well, Sam Bodie gambled that time as they went down low. He went for the steal, didn't get it, and there was no help available.
Here's Peeler coming up against Jones, and he carried the ball. And that is the 4th turnover for Missouri. Rich Daly, 5 seasons at Moberly Area Junior College, former head coach at Pensacola Junior College, 6th year on the staff at Missouri. King again, and King now has 8. It's 10-9, Oklahoma. Leonard loses it, got it back, throws it out here to the near side. Coward with a big save, but then it is Smith getting it back into Leonard. What a play that was. Smith just threw himself out of bounds to make that play.
Well, there was hustle plays all over the place, and finally it was almost like centering the puck in a hockey game, and Leonard come out and saved it.
William Davis called for the foul. Byron Irvin and Greg Church will be coming in for Missouri. We've got a timeout with 15:35 remaining. Oklahoma with a 1-point lead. Now this from Phillips, 66. Awards for Sports, a celebration to honor achievement in sports television. The 10th Annual Emmy Awards for Sports comes your way in April. You'll want to check your local listing. Sandbody to put the ball in play for Missouri. Oklahoma leading 10-9.
This is the 8th straight year in this tournament the #1 seed has reached the finals. That if you're a Missouri fan, you hang on to this one. No team has won this tournament back-to-back.
Oklahoma, a little different look right here. It's zone defense by the Sooners.
Sandbody cross-courting it to Coward. They got Smith underneath, and it won't go for him, but a foul charged on Henry. Skeeter Henry, number 30, his first. That's the 3rd team foul.
As the Sooners go to the zone, we'll see what Missouri does to attack it. Look at Davis, Skeeter Henry right there, and we'll take a look at that maybe later.
Sandbody ready to Coward. Blaylock and King and Jones and Henry and Davis on the court right now for Oklahoma.
It's like a 3-2 zone.
Byron Irvin in the game. Irvin 21. That's Coward's jumper. It goes over the hoop, and ball belongs to Oklahoma.
And there we see in the corner William Davis. Well, here's the replay.
Well, this moments ago, they go to that zone and make that skip pass all the way across the court, something we used to say in our day of playing that you couldn't do. You never could cross-court a pass. That's what you have to do nowadays against the zone.
King in underneath. Lost it, got it back, and scores it. King has 10. 12-9. Oklahoma has its biggest lead, 3 points. Missouri led by 6 earlier. 14:25 to play first half.
Of course, Stacey King has eaten Missouri for breakfast, lunch, and dinner this season, averaging about 35 points a game in the 2 games.
Only 12 yesterday, as he fouled out of that ball game in the last 3 minutes. That's his season low, but he's off and running today, already in double figures. 10.
Well, as we mentioned, the Sooners, I think, have been biding their time for this game.
5 turnovers now for the Tigers.
And the man there, William Davis, that just passed the ball, I think said it all the other day. We asked him, well, we'll follow Missouri here on the break.
All right, here's Church off the glass.
Now you understand Sandbody's value to this team. You see, he saved the cinch basket with his alertness right there. Stepped in and made the steal. Turned it into 2 on the other end.
King under to Davis, and he's got 2.
There's Davis. I was saying yesterday, they asked him, who do you want to play William in the finals? Most players say, oh, it doesn't matter. This guy said, we want Missouri, Jay. He said, we owe them a whipping. They've been waiting for this game.
Well, I think the Tigers were glad to have another shot, too, at the number 2 team in the country right now. Missouri number 10, Oklahoma number 2. Great year for the Big 8 Conference. Later today, of course, we'll have the 64 going into NCAA postseason play. We'll be bringing you that information late in this telecast, so you'll get it all right here. Here's Smith up the middle. Smith has 4 points.
Well, he's been shooting lights out in these two ball games after really struggling. 16 out of 31 coming in for this final game.
Jones' shot wouldn't go. The rebound by William Davis and the foul on Church. Church committing his first personal foul. That is team foul number 3.
Well, for a kid coming back home, William Davis has really done it in this tournament. He played at Wyandotte High School here in Kansas City, Kansas, and he's had, in this tournament, 33 points. He's 12 of 19 from the field. He's at 9 out of 12 from the free throw line and 17 rebounds. So,
and of course, he knows
great
a lot,
homecoming.
and he knows a lot about championships. Played on a championship team at Hutchinson Junior College.
Bunton has replaced Sandbody for Missouri. King along the line, kicks it back out to Jones. Back into King, and Church is bumping him, and the foul on Church.
You know, I don't think it's a stretch to say that young Mr. Davis has been Oklahoma's most valuable player in this tournament.
Rich Daly watching.
Watch the action down low here. King and Church is really going at it. Church even with a little grab of the nylon or whatever they're making those jerseys out of nowadays. He gets caught.
Blaylock into Davis. Lost it. And out of bounds off Blaylock. Blaylock, Missouri's ball. 4 turnovers, Oklahoma. 5 against Missouri.
In this tournament, Missouri's really cut the turnovers down. They've had some problems in that area. 9 the first game and only 12 yesterday against Kansas State.
Coward had 12 in the win over Nebraska, 11 against Kansas State. He's out there now with Irwin and Smith and Church.
Oh, a sensational move by Smith, and you do see that. He wanted the ball. He was calling for the ball. I want to shoot it over Stacey King.
Smith had 14 against Nebraska, 22 against K-State. 12 minutes to play in the first half. Missouri back in the lead. There's Davis with a fake. Can't get it to go. King has the rebound. King's shot wouldn't go. Davis again and a foul. Foul charge to number 22, Nathan Bunton. That's his first.
Davis really a horse on those boards. A real physical player, can take it inside. Watch you start with him right here. Going up for the shot. Church mistimes his jump as the ball hangs up there. King goes back up. He's going to miss. Watch Davis come flying through and make another rebound. And then Bunton with the foul as he tries to take it up strong.
5 team fouls against Missouri. William Davis. Only 4 points in the 2 games against Missouri this year.
You know, guys, Davis in high school was able to do something that Oklahoma could not do last year, and that's beat Danny Manning for a championship. His Wyandotte team beat Lawrence High for the state championship when Wayne was a junior.
Church comes away with it for Missouri. Score tied at 15.
These two teams right now playing a little bit more conservative. I think both clubs coming out. There isn't the running up down the floor. There's not the quick shots. They're taking more time and running more half-court offense.
Bunton trying to get it into Smith. King almost got away with the steal. Timeout. Score tied, 15-all.
Mike Sandbody ranks second in steals, Missouri career annals, and also third in assists. He gets the steal on the other end. Watch this. The pass right back to Church. He takes it up. He adds another assist for that total as Greg Church lays it in. Good ball handling. Good work by the Tigers.
Mike Sandbody sitting it out right now. Missouri shooting 64% from the field. OU 44%. As we have 11:29 to play in this first half. Churchill put it in for the Tigers. Got Bunton, Irvin, Howard.
Oklahoma now looks like they're sitting in the 2-1-2 zone. That's Skeeter Henry in the middle, a very active player.
Howard, a 3-pointer. Howard makes it 18-15. 5 points for Coward.
Well, Coward now regaining his shooting touch. He was 5 of 10 and 5 of 7 the 2 tournament games and hadn't been in shot over 50% in 11 previous games.
King had it in there and it went out and it went out again, and now Davis, and it won't go. Davis gets it back.
Smith from behind.
Foul charge by Smith is his first.
Well, here's King taking it in right here. Wide open shot, but lays it up off the back too hard. Doesn't get a follow-up. Believe it or not, this is not going to go in. But Davis, strong rebounding in the offensive glass in the early going, takes it up. Smith from behind after making the block now catches the foul.
Well, and credit Bunton for keeping it alive, too, a couple of times down there.
Six points for Davis. Leonard will return for Missouri. It'll be Church to come out. Davis had a high of 21 against Loyola Marymount this year. (18-17).
Jay, I was at that game. Oklahoma could have scored 200 that afternoon.
They were running and gunning, weren't they, that day?
Change up on defenses by Oklahoma, giving the Tigers something to think about each time down, and that doesn't make you think very long.
I'll tell you, I think these changing defenses showing one thing: Oklahoma's respect for Missouri. They can do a lot of things to hurt you.
Byron Irvin getting his first bucket. And now Irvin with the steal. And they've got 4 on 2. And Coward brings it back out.
Well, I think Coward makes the mistake here. He got caught on the baseline. Should have taken the 45-degree cut where he gets the layup.
Byron Irvin with a 3.
He didn't make a mistake on the pass, though. He got it to the hot guy, Byron Irvin.
Missouri's out to a 23-17 advantage, matching their biggest lead. King is fouled. King, Henry, Blaylock, Jones, and Davis on the court. And we're going to get Tony Martin into the game, the junior from Manual Arts High in L.A., California. And going out, it'll be Skeeter Henry. King goes to the free throw line.
I think Leonard has to not have his thinking geared to block the shot of Stacey King. If it happens to be there, fine. He has to think about going up and changing the shot of King, making him divert the shot and changing it, hoping he missed, because King has been struggling, only shooting 42% in this particular tournament.
Of course, and there we saw 3 more automatic bids to the NCAA. North Carolina, Alabama, Ball State.
23-19 Missouri. Coward into Leonard. Leonard working inside, couldn't get it to go down, and King is there to rebound.
One thing I saw out of Smith right there, in the past 2 ball games, he had a lot of foul trouble. He went up and he drew his hand out of there and stayed away from that foul. He's had the tendency to go over and just whack and pick up early fouls.
Davis couldn't get that one to go down. A rebound by Bunton, and here are the Tigers with 9.5 to play in the first half, getting it to Leonard again. Gary Leonard. Leonard now with 7 points. 25-19 Missouri over Oklahoma.
Leonard doing what a big guy should when he catches the ball. Keeps it high, does not put it on the floor, and then just turns and takes it up.
But I think, guys, that Gary Leonard, when he is on, he takes Missouri to another level. They have the terrific backcourt. They've got Doug Smith and some fine players inside. But when he's playing well, they're as good as anybody around.
Mookie Blaylock took the shot from way outside, and the foul is on Martin, who came into the game moments ago as he went over the back.
Billy Tubbs, Coach of the Year in the Big 8 Conference. Great season. See, the shot goes up. Martin, no doubt about that call. He puts his hand on his back and rides him over the top.
And for Oklahoma, Wiley, number 32, has come into the game.
Okay, this is a unique substitution for Oklahoma, actually, because Andre Wiley has not played much against Missouri this season.
Davis sitting it out right now. 8:50 to go in this first half. Tigers up by 6. There's Bunton's jumper. Bunton has 2 more.
Well, the first game he came off the bench at 9 points. Only played 4 minutes against Kansas State, was 1 for 1.
27-19 Missouri. King along the line. Double teamed, foul on Bunton.
Rich Daly is over there holding up his hands. There he is. He wants a jump ball, but right away, see, King posted in there way too low. Got to force him out, body him out.
Of course, the cliche is that Missouri's got a lot of fouls to give. Here's one of them.
Bunton coming off the bench, but you saw where Stacey King got that ball. He gets 1 foot inside the paint. It's going to be awfully tough to stop him.
Well, and of course, Missouri has a lot of men, as I was saying, a lot of fouls to give, but that's exactly what Stacey King's going to do today, is draw a lot of fouls inside.
Terrence Mullins, number 24, into the game. Jones going out. King, the Big 8 Player of the Year. Already the only player in league history to log 100 block shots in a single season. 27-21, Missouri.
Well, last night, Stacey King set the Big 8 record, career record for block shots. He had 5 against, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, had 5 against Iowa State, gave him 220, breaking Oklahoma State's Joe Atkinson's record.
Foul on King against Leonard. Leonard will go to the line.
Well, the game plan looks the same, doesn't it? Take it inside. There's King. He gets it on one end offensively, and now they throw it back in, and look where Leonard gets this ball, deep in the paint. There's no way right now. King just gives a little shove, gets the job done before Leonard can get in the act of shooting.
Well, and they won't go to the line. That was just the 15th foul. Bunton gets it and tapped it in.
And Stacey fell asleep on that inbound pass. He was looking at the floor when Bunton came down the lane.
Georgetown defeats Syracuse in the Big East, and King scores again for Oklahoma. 29-23. Missouri with 8 minutes to play, first half of the championship game.
And that just about clinches the #1 seed in the East for Georgetown later this afternoon. There's a lot of people think Syracuse will be #2 and be sent to the West as the #2 seed.
Button and Coward, Irvin, Smith, and Leonard on the court for Missouri. Myron Irvin. A two-pointer. He was just inside the line.
Got a warning here. What they're doing, Ron Zetcher comes out. He's telling Ed Hightower to warn that you got to let the ball go when it goes to the basket.
We've got a timeout. 7:39 to go in this first half. 31-23 Missouri. Back after this from our friends at Phillips 66. First half. Things are tough.
Well, they're running a little slow down there.
There's the time remaining in this first half. It's Leonard, Irvin, Howard, Button, and Smith on the court for Missouri. Number 32 in the lineup, Andre Wiley for Oklahoma with Blaylock in the backcourt. Mullins up front with King and Henry.
So far for Oklahoma, King and Davis have all the points. King 16, Davis 7. That's the 23 points. Missouri, good balance, has 6 guys that have scored already, and yesterday they had 6 guys in double figures.
Mullins shot over the hoop, rebounded by Smith. Missouri 2 for 2 in three-point shooting. OU 0 for 5 in three-point land here in the first half. 7 minutes to go. Smith turns and fires. He doesn't get it. Oh, Leonard tapped it in. Gary Leonard now has 9.
Of course, Jay, Oklahoma 1 for 16 on threes in the last 2 games. And there's another bad three.
And they got the big 3 from Jones to beat Iowa State.
The only one of that game.
Myron Irvin banks it off the glass. It wouldn't go, and King had the rebound.
Irvin had the best shot early when he got the pass. He should have just raised up and taken the shot. He took it into traffic and made it difficult.
Missouri leading by 10 with 6.5 to go in this first half. Automatic bid goes to the winner of this one. Up the middle, and a nice shot coming from Wiley. Wiley right at the top of the key makes it 33-25, a lead of 8 for the Tigers, and pressure now as Oklahoma double teams the ball in the backcourt. Long pass down to Bunton. He just did get there.
A lot of defense is being thrown. Missouri at that looked like in a zone.
And Stacey gets it fouled.
Yep, Leonard gets 2, and he'll go to the line. And this Missouri crowd on its feet. Leonard has 11.
Watch the action as the bench celebrates over there. Sam Bodie, Church, you see Peeler. Here's the pass for Irvin inside. He's got King beat. King's got to turn him loose right there. He's a great shot blocker, but he's got too much of an advantage at 7-1. You know he's going to take it on the stuff.
And Leonard now with a dozen. 36-25, Missouri's biggest lead.
Jay, the man with the ball right here, Mookie Blaylock, has got to start doing something on offense for the Sooners.
We're going to get William Davis back into the lineup, and also Tyrone Jones as Mullins and Wiley go out.
Mookie, one of the best two-way guards in the land here for 2 seasons.
Curry, the one thing about this game right now, it hasn't been up and down the floor, and that takes away some of the strength of Blaylock. He's an open court player, does his best when he's in that type of game. It definitely does not compare at all to that first game at Norman, Oklahoma, in the style of play right now.
The way he likes it, up and down, you're right.
The jumper from the corner wouldn't go down for Tyrone Jones. Coward has to hurry. Got it in and picked up on the far sideline.
He's on the floor.
Attack comes Skeeter Henry. Now the jumper is good by Blaylock. It's a three-pointer.
They needed that from Mookie. Of course, in the game in Columbia, Blaylock was held to 7 points. The only time this season he's been in single digits.
That job was done by Peeler, defensively, a fine freshman.
36-28 the Tigers as we near the 5-minute mark of this first half. There's the three-point shooting.
Blaylock has really struggled offensively. I researched him back for about 7-8 ball games. I think you'll find that he's somewhere in the 36% shooting range. He was only 7 out of 20 yesterday.
At last basket, Doug Smith. 38-28. Missouri's lead is again 10. Here's Jones from the corner. And Leonard rebounding. Leonard with the outlet pass to Irvin. They've got 3-on-1. And Button. And no basket charge on Button. He had Coward off to his left and didn't give it up.
But he's also going against one of the smartest defenders ever. Mookie Blaylock. Watch what he does here.
That's why you have to be aware and recognize that. He's got plenty of time to see. See, he takes one big step. Right there, he's got to give the ball off.
But a tremendous play by Blaylock. Just holding his position, waiting for the 6'11" guy to come crashing down on him.
8 turnovers against Missouri. King coming back with a jumper. Can't get it to go. Ball belongs to Oklahoma with 4:17 to go first half.
Rich Daly cheering the troops on.
There's Billy Tubbs. Tubbs, who went to Lon Morris Junior College and then on to Lamar. Later became the head coach at Lamar. Well, Tubbs has done a splendid job down at Oklahoma.
Took Oklahoma that #1 position, the only time in the history of the Sooners to be ranked #1.
Of course, Billy, the devil incarnate in St. Louis today, but his mother still lives in St. Louis, a St. Louis boy.
That's right. Henry. And from way out, Blaylock's shot won't go down. And now it's Irvin. They've got 3-on-1. Let's see. Coward takes it in. It doesn't go. And Davis rebound. Out to King. Leonard in trouble. Leonard played it beautifully. I don't know if King shouldn't have dished off to his left there.
Both ends, I would say that we should have seen the ball dished off. Watch the action. King here has an open man. He's just challenging. Leonard does a good job of holding up right here, and then Smith comes from behind and makes the big block. A saving basket. That should have been 2 for the Sooners. They don't get it. So instead of trailing by 8, they trailed by 10, 38-28.
We're going to see here something that happens very, very rarely. Stacey King intimidated. He comes down on a 2-on-1. He sees the 7-footer. Leonard hesitates, doesn't really know what to do, gets caught up for the hook, and the ball ends up out of bounds. Terrific defense by Gary Leonard.
That's the voice of Curry Kirkpatrick, and along with Gary Thompson, this is Jay Randolph. Hope you're enjoying this Big 8 championship game from Kemper in Kansas City. 3:30 to go, first half. Missouri zoning. This is something they did a few times this year, Gary, to the surprise of many.
Wouldn't be effective.
Blaylock and Henry, Davis and King, and Jones on the court right now for the Sooners of Billy Tubbs. And there's Blaylock along the line from the corner. Rebound Irvin.
Missouri in the last few possessions really started to push the ball.
Sambodi, Coward, Irvin, Button, and Leonard for Missouri. Inside the 3-minute mark, first half. Button almost lost it. Byron Irvin rejected. Jones goes and gets it in the corner. Out to Davis it comes. Oklahoma picking up the pace a little bit. They're down by 10. Blaylock, 3-point try on the way. Go. Foul underneath. They're 1 of 10 from the 3-point line, Oklahoma. That matches their production of yesterday. Of course, that 3-pointer yesterday was a dandy, and it really deflated Iowa State.
Well, they went down in 3 years the rule's been in effect. They've never gone a game without a 3-point basket. They were down to the last 1 second.
That last foul Charge to Tyrone Jones, and Byron Irvin is at the line. The senior from Julian High in Chicago had 35 earlier this year against Virginia Tech. Leading score at 19.2 for the Tigers.
At 34 against Oklahoma at Columbia, unanimous all Big 8 players. Had a great season.
And he has 9 points.
Well, he's had 56 in the 2 games against Oklahoma and 9 again today.
Missouri has its biggest lead, 12. 2.5 to play.
Leonard with this zone, Leonard with a couple of fouls in there, might be trying to protect him because Oklahoma's game was also geared to going down to King and challenging inside.
Henry spins and gets 2. Nice pass in there that time. Blaylock working well.
That's what Oklahoma needs to do, is get some of these other players involved in the seams of the zone to get some offense going. They can't depend on King to do it all.
They tried to get the alley-oop to Leonard. It wouldn't go. Long pass to Henry. He missed it. And Sandbody comes back for the Tigers. Wow. Big opportunity gone by the boards there, Gary.
Well, that's the value of Sandbody. He's involved in the game entirely. Offensively, he doesn't score much. He still shoots 53%, knows his role.
This time, Oklahoma gets the turnover and the basket from Tyrone Jones.
When Sandbody's shaking his hand, I think he went up for that. He caught it on either the rim or the board.
40-32, Missouri by 8. 1:20 to go, first half. Sandbody feeding Butler in the lane for 2. Nice assist there by Mike Sandbody.
Well, that's Sandbody's value right there. That ball no more hit his hands back to the middle of the open man. He had 8 assists yesterday against Kansas State. That was season high for him.
And Henry cuts the cords from the left side. Skeeter out of Grand Prairie, Texas. 42-34, Missouri. 55 seconds remaining of the first half. Byron Irvin drives and gets it.
Now Oklahoma trying a half-court trap, and Missouri just has all the answers for every defense they've been throwing against them so far.
Well, I asked Byron Irvin as the teams were warming up. He was on the floor stretching. And I said, Byron, are you healthy? He's had that groin injury, and he said, I'm ready to go. He said, I'm ready to play.
Also had a problem with a hip pointer, and he has played sparingly in the first 2 games here.
Okay, stop the presses now. Oklahoma's going to hold the ball, and the crowd's going to chant boring.
They're down to 17.
Now here's Henry going over to talk to Billy Tubbs. They've never done this before. He's trying to figure out what he should do.
You mean they don't practice this, Curry, huh?
I don't think so.
Cowher tried for the save. Ball still belongs to Oklahoma. 4 seconds remaining in this first half.
Boy, these coaches are going for everything. Daly came up and he was motioning the other end. He was trying to sell a call that had been deflected off Oklahoma.
Peeler and Smith come in. And we've got Sandbody, Smith, Leonard, Irvin, and Peeler on the court for Missouri with the 4 seconds remaining. And it'll be Tyrone Jones to put it in play. Back out of bounds. 2 seconds left. Oklahoma's basketball.
Of course, Missouri in a man-to-man here on the inbounds.
And it comes to Henry along the line. He throws it out. Oh, what a shot. It is good. It will count. Well, a dramatic ending to a very interesting first half. 44-36, Missouri at halftime.
This could be a big momentum basket for Oklahoma right here. Skeeter Henry, a good catch and a fall-away jumper. Tough shot. Peeler, a smart job of not going after the ball and making a foul. Watch Billy. Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
And on the other end, Rich Daly, he didn't like it one bit.
Well, and he's especially disgusted because he put in the freshman Peeler on that play, and Peeler got lost on the switch.
Big 8 basketball is brought.
They were 9 down, I think it was yesterday, and came back. But Leonard, a good ball game in his first half for Missouri Tigers, 12 points, and that's a good omen for the Tigers when he's playing well.
The Sooners and the Tigers, halftime of the Big 8 Tournament Championship game at Kemper Arena. Missouri up 44-36. More halftime activities in a moment. Time to spotlight today's feature teams. Are made by the Big 8 Raycom basketball analysts. And here's the all Big 8 teams. Stacey King of Oklahoma. Victor Alexander from Iowa State. From Missouri, Byron Irvin. From Oklahoma, Mookie Blaylock. And from Kansas State, Steve Henson. Congratulations from Phillips 66 and Raycom Sports. Kevin Pritchard of Kansas. Mark Urquhart from Iowa State. Missouri's Gary Leonard. And from Nebraska, Bo Reed. Phillips 66, proud to salute those athletes who excel in academics as well as athletics. Team during the regular season, and of course the #1 seed in this tournament, down 44-36 to the Missouri Tigers. The Tigers finishing second in league play and trying to win this championship game here this afternoon and get the official bid to the NCAA from the Big 8. It'll be interesting to see, of course, how many teams from the Big 8 are involved in postseason play. I think we're set now to bring in Gary for the highlight package of this first half.
Well, we had a few in that first half, Jay. Here's one for Missouri. Peeler on the breakaways. The Tigers started to run. He'll take it up. The defense just takes him, change the shot a little bit, misses it, but Smith follows with 2 of his 8 points. Turn around now, watch Blaylock in here. He'll penetrate, gets the defense up. Good pass to Skeeter Henry. A little reverse right here and up. And gets 2 down for the Sooners, who trailed by 8 here at half. Now watch a pass into Smith. Leonard's going to come in as Smith goes up and misses it. And what a tip in right here. And he gets English on that ball as he tips it just with his fingertips. Gets it up off the glass and down.
Gary, there might have been a momentum builder right here with 2 seconds left.
That's right. The Sooners make it a habit right now of last-second shots. And Skeeter Henry, a fall-away, tough shot, gets it down for 2. And that's got to give them some momentum going in at halftime. Tubbs loves it.
He sure did. We're at halftime. Missouri has a 44-36 advantage. And we'll be coming back to check out the halftime statistics right after these messages. Basketball tournament. Now let's look at today's Gillette halftime statistics. And Gary, the field goal shooting, a big disparity there.
Well, Form's holding up right there for the tournament. Missouri averaging 56% on the 2 games, and Oklahoma only 41%, and they're down even lower, as you see, 38-68%. That in itself explains this lead. They're holding their own pretty well on the rebounding. Missouri, the #1 rebound club, only down 2 there. Turnovers, Missouri's turned it over, but the bench scoring. Missouri deep and strong on the bench. And of course, the starter, Irvin, coming off the bench right now as they lead at 19-2.
Gary, you talk about the bench scoring as we look at the Missouri scoring in the first half. Missouri got 40 points off the bench against Nebraska, 26 off the bench at K-State. And as we look at the Oklahoma scoring, we can tell you that Oklahoma had 29 bench points against Colorado and 10 bench points against Iowa State.
Remember, King and Davis had the first 23 points for Oklahoma. That's what they ended up with. They did not score in the last 10 minutes, and Missouri's zone accounted for some of that.
Well, that field goal percentage, Jade, from Oklahoma, Tyrone Jones and Mookie Blaylock 2 for 12. That's where most of that deficit comes from.
That's right. Well, today's halftime stats are brought to you by Gillette. And as we show you some other scores from around the country, we want to say special thanks to Ted Tedesco and Will Hancock for helping us with our statistics throughout this Big 8 tournament. Georgetown, they're strong, Curry.
And that's, of course, in Madison Square Garden. The Hoyas will be the #1 seed in the East in about a half an hour.
Louisville up by half a dozen at halftime against Florida State. Alabama gets by Florida.
Jay, Alabama, a big surprise in the Southeastern Conference this season. Wimp Sanderson, 23 wins. They were expected to be about 500. They've been one of the true Cinderella teams this season.
And later in this second half, of course, we'll start bringing you the 64 for the NCAA tournament. The pairings will be coming your way, so don't you go away. We'll have it for you right here. Missouri, 20-1 when leading at halftime. Gary Leonard out on the court, along with Urban, Smith, Sandbody, and Coward.
The Sooners just have to somehow get Blaylock involved in the ball game. He only had 3 points in the first half, 1 steal. He did have 3 assists. There's King with us, but he has to get involved. He has to handle the ball and I think push the ball down the floor a little bit more.
Missouri just made their 11th turnover. Davis getting it into King, and a foul underneath. Davis and King, Henry, Blaylock and Jones on the court for Oklahoma. Arizona marching along.
Boy, the #1 Wildcats there playing terrific ball down the stretch here. They will be the #1 seed in the West, of course.
Opening moment of the second half. Missouri 44-36, the halftime score.
Opening up man for man.
King taking it in, got it. King going by Leonard. King now with 18.
Good changeup right there for Leonard. For King. Elandi will take that jumper or that little hook, and I think he needs to mix it up a little bit more because he's got the quickness to beat people.
This is a strange 1-3-1 trap for the Sooners.
Smith gets it to Sandbody. His shot won't go. Leonard getting it back, and foul call. I didn't know whether they were going to call a tie-up or a foul. The foul is on Skeeter Henry.
And William Davis put his hand right in Leonard's face, pointing at him. He wants no rough stuff.
Watch the action here. It goes up. Doesn't get it, Sandbody. Leonard comes over. There's a fight for it. And now Leonard really comes out.
Oh, well, that's the reason Davis got upset at Leonard right there. And they're talking to him right now, King and Leonard.
That's Ron Zetcher, one of the veteran officials. Works for the Ladue Public Schools as a phys ed teacher in the St. Louis area.
This league, you always talk about physical play in some other leagues. This league is as physical. Basketball is the same all over the country right now. I tell you.
When did they say it wasn't the contact sport, Gary? Huh?
And the National Hockey League is much tougher than this one.
Yeah, they got pads and helmets, though. Pass in from Sandbody to Leonard. His shot won't go, but he follows. Leonard with a fine follow-up. Leonard now has 14 points, 46-38, Missouri by 8, 18-20 remaining. We're in the second half championship game of the Big 8 tournament. Sky King wouldn't go. Leonard rebounds. Outlet pass to Coward. Coward on the run. Here comes Henry. Henry commits the foul.
And, you know, Missouri will do this every now and then. Some games they will cherry pick. They'll keep a guy back and not check off, and then they look for that long down court pass. You can see Coward, he was right out here waiting for that outlet pass. There's the inbound pass on the other end to Leonard. Tries to get his feet under to get it, but watch. But look at the quickness of Leonard right here for the 7'1" kid.
Well, I'm telling you, Marty Blake, the NBA scout, we've mentioned him before, has been touting this kid all season, be a #1 draft choice, one of the top centers picked, the senior centers.
Coward has 6 points, the junior out of Murray Wright High, Detroit, Michigan.
And Leonard is certainly today making Blake's words look good.
Coward making a nice comeback. They've been moved out of the starting lineup, got back in there, and 9 assists in the Nebraska game, which was a season high for Missouri, and he's been doing a nice job of running the Tigers.
Missouri's lead is 10 with 18 minutes to play. King. Go for him inside. He got it back and scores. Stacey King now has 20. And it's obvious that King and Leonard are both dominating in underneath there. They're both in high gear, these two big men today.
Tigers trying to help a little bit on King, but just getting there late.
Smith. Irvin, he didn't fire. Now goes in, banked it off the glass. Tipped in by Doug Smith.
Smith really seems to have found himself. He had 8 points and 8 rebounds in the first half.
Jones' shot won't go. Another rebound. Look at him shake his head. Coward was upset. He wanted a fast break situation, but Smith thought better of it. Sandbody underneath. Myron Irvin can't get it to go. And back comes Jones for Oklahoma. 2-on-2. Driving in, Blaylock. Can't get it to go. Sandbody tapped it over to Coward.
Mookie just can't get anything down, and he's got to be frustrated.
Sure, you think that suspension, missing that one game, bothered him or got him out of sync?
I think he was rusty yesterday. He came out shooting a lot. I watched him in the warm-ups today, and I watched him again at halftime. I don't know if that means anything, but he just wasn't hitting anything even in halftime warm-up. You know, the practice game.
Foul is on Davis.
It definitely wasn't the game off, because he has been struggling, as I said, back for several ball games, and it's one of these slumps that he's in. You know, we talk about Smith. He's been in Coward. They've bounced out of it. This guy's got to find a way.
Well, let's point out something else. This guy, Mookie Blaylock, has played about 38, 39 minutes a game all year long. He's hardly had any rest. It's 39 during the conference season. He has not had much of a rest. He got the one-game rest the other night.
Howard, a three. Got the cross-court pass from Peeler, who just came back into the game. Coward has 10, and Missouri has its biggest lead, 13 points. Stacey King trying to counter. Leonard rebounding. Leonard off to Coward. Coward long pass to Smith.
Well, the Tigers are turning it on now, and can Smith run the court? 6-10.
And what a pass by Lee Coward.
Billy Tubbs has got to be thinking about a timeout, but he may wait for the timeout. Going in that time, Skeeter Henry. He'll go to the line as Leonard. Thought he got a good block. He's shaking his head. Foul is the third on Leonard. Let's look at it.
Some penetration here. Good drive, good quickness. Goes up. Ooh, Leonard looks like he's got a lot of block.
Henry steps to the line. Henry, the junior.
Skeeter out of Midland Junior College. I think he had 3 key baskets in the second half yesterday against Iowa State, and then in the last 10 minutes of the first half of this ball game, he had 3 buckets, including that one at the end of the half that really kept Oklahoma in.
Andre Wiley back on the court for Oklahoma. Byron Irvin takes it in. Good block. Stacey King with a fine block and out of bounds. It belongs to Missouri.
You guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but right now it's Stacey King against the world here. I don't think Oklahoma can win this game with King having to do so much. They've got to get some other people involved.
Well, Tigers, this tournament they've been playing, have really busted out and playing sharp. They're executing, they're handling everything, as you said, that Oklahoma can give them. With shooting like that, it's going to be strong.
Three-pointer for Irvin. 58-42 Missouri. Stacey King. It won't go. In the lane, Jones. And a whistle. And the foul. Foul charge to Smith, number 34.
There's a relaxed Rich Daly and Al Eberhard, the former Tiger, great player. Good look at Smith, who's really come to life in this tournament. Billy Tubbs trying to urge his troops on. But one thing you got to remember, the Sooner Club, as an entire ball club, has a winning mentality, and they never think they're out of the ball game.
Jones out of Dunbar High in the nation's capital. They call him Stretch, a 79% free throw shooter. There's that play in underneath.
King showing you some stuff of why he was named first team All-American by Basketball Weekly.
Timeout. 15:34 remaining. 58-44 Missouri. Now this from our friends at Phillips 66. Well, Gary Thompson and Kerry Kirkpatrick and yours truly will be selecting the fourth player of the game at the conclusion of this one. Curry, one has to wonder about Oklahoma. They certainly have not looked up to par in this tournament. And their coach, Billy Tubbs, was saying that they didn't play with much enthusiasm. There's no reason for them not to play with enthusiasm here today. This Missouri club, though, is on their game.
Yeah, I think they have enthusiasm today, but, you know, a lot of comparisons have been made between Oklahoma this year and last year. Last year, they, of course, had Harvey Grant, Dave Seeger, and Ricky Grace, who they could go to. With Blaylock off target, it's Stacey King alone. It's exclusively Stacey King's show. That's all that's their go-to guy, and I don't know if he can beat Missouri by himself.
Missouri using a little clock here, and a foul called underneath as the shot clock was down to 13.
There's the creator, Andre Wiley.
Foul on Wiley is his first.
Going to have to create a lot of offense here with Oklahoma right now. They're trailing by 14.
And maybe some hot shooting club, aren't they? Look at that stat. Byron Irvin, cousin of Atlanta's Doc Rivers.
Of course, we mentioned Byron Irvin's youngest brother, high school player, and actually an 8th grader in the Chicago area, South Shore high school area, was picked by Sports Illustrated magazine 2 years ago, the best 6th grader in the country.
In the lane, King. Oh, nice move by King.
Maybe he can bring him back.
He's got 22.
Coming with the press. 2-1-2.
Missouri up by 12. Peeler, Coward, Smith, Leonard, and Irvin on the court for the Tigers.
And that Oklahoma can hit you with, they're never out of the ballgame. They can strike so fast.
Leonard, he got it. Leonard made a nice little move there, kind of got King off balance. 16 points for Leonard. Missouri 26-7, 10-4 in conference play. The Sooners 28-4. They won the conference regular season 12-2. Stacey King goes down. Jones got it, followed it up. Back out it comes to Skeeter Henry.
That's his shot.
This up over the backboard. Rebound Smith out to Irvin. They've got 3-on-1. Coward, Peeler, Byron Irvin. Foul call. The basket did not go.
Beautiful execution. Blaylock all by himself back there as the Tigers will come on him 3-on-1.
Oh, he stopped another one, though.
Watch here, passing on the 3-on-1 break, one side to the other. Blaylock comes across, gets a lot of ball, but gets him with the body, and Irvin with strength just cannot quite get it up. Another look from up high. Good ball handling by the Tigers, one side to the other, back. Blaylock comes in, will make Irvin go to the line and hit two. He had just missed two there previously.
Into the game, Mullins for Oklahoma, replacing Tyrone Jones. Team fouls, 3 for Missouri, 5 for Oklahoma. 13:58 to play, 62-46, Mizzou. Steal by Coward. Coward, dogged by Blaylock, gets it over to Smith.
Well, Jay, I was checking the stat board here. Coward has 9 assists. The record for Missouri in a game is 12 by Larry Drew and John McIntyre, who happens to be on this club right now.
Wiley scores for Oklahoma after the big play by Skeeter Henry. Wiley has 4, 62-48, 13.5 to go. Smith.
They got him down in the block. Rich Daly said yesterday, we want him down in the paint. Al Eberhard's been working with him and really going. The pace of this game now is picked up a little bit, which
Doug Smith, he had 14 against Nebraska, 22 against Kansas State, and Smith has 14 here today.
Good steal by Coward.
Blaylock and Mullins, along with William Davis on the court, and Skeeter Henry and Sky King.
This Mullins sums up the shooting. He's 4 for 17 in this tournament.
Blaylock an air ball. He wanted a foul. And the Missouri fans chanting air ball. 13 minutes to play. Byron Irvin. Doug Smith couldn't get it down. King rebounds up to Mullins. And as you mentioned, Gary, the pace really picking up. Blaylock, he couldn't get it, but there's Davis.
Howard made Blaylock change that shot just enough where he couldn't get up high and off his glass. But good follow and staying with the ball by Oklahoma.
Davis has 9, 64-50, Missouri. 12.5 to go.
This is the type of move that Oklahoma would like right now in an effort to get back in the ball game. Missouri's going to have to meet the challenge and continue to score.
Foul on Mullins.
Well, but Gary, Missouri is one of the few teams in America that is not afraid of running with Oklahoma. They've done it twice this season. Got 105 against them, got beat at Norman, but then came back to beat them by 13 at Columbia. They are not afraid of the Oklahoma break.
I think the key is when Oklahoma presses, you get it. You have to attack and take what you can get on the other end, because they'll give you some easy shots. But if you do not get that easy shot, then you have to have the patience come out and go in a half court and take some time. I thought Iowa State yesterday did an excellent job of that, of taking the baskets that were there when it wasn't there, to take some time off the bottom corner.
That was Anthony Peeler. Smith and Leonard have left the game, and Sambodi and Church are in, spelling them. 12:10 remaining. 66-50. The Tigers lead the Sooners.
He gets that 3-guard offense rolling right now for the Tigers.
Foul on Sambodi. For Sambodi, that is his second. Team foul number 4 against Missouri. Sambodi out of Washington, Missouri. Big 8 all-defensive team last season. A real hustler. He works hard.
You know, Peeler's had a great tournament. He hasn't had a turnover until early in the first half when he made one.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Mookie finally gets one. Maybe that'll be the one that turns him on.
He's the guy that keys this ball club, and he just hasn't been there for some reason.
Foul charge on Skeeter Henry, and boy, he didn't like that call. That's his fourth, his fourth, and that's team foul number 7.
Well, let's watch. We couldn't see from this angle whether he moved, but he does a good job of stuffing the guy, but he gets over there. Close call. Boy, that is the most difficult call because you look at him get there as he takes one stride, and he does set himself, but whether he got there in time, that's the question.
Coward just getting word that Colorado and Oklahoma State have both moved into the NCAA Women's Championship. Colorado's seated 3rd, and we're just a few minutes away from starting to get the information from downtown Kansas City regarding the men's championship and the 64 who go into play in the NCAA postseason action.
Of course, this man, Lee Coward, remembers this floor 2 years ago. He won this title game with a last-second shot against Kansas.
Missouri is up by 15 with 11:42 to play. Stacey King at the foul line. 2 more.
King, a nice job that time, recognizing the defense. They're taking the shot from where he had it. He has moved them to position, shortened it up by about 3-4 feet.
Turnover for Missouri, the 13th in the game. That's Blaylock's first steal, I believe, Gary. And here's Mullins. Oh, yes. It was a 2, very close to being a 3.
Well, I think Blaylock had one. I think he had a steal in the first half. It didn't make any difference. He has to have some more. One of the all-time guys.
Well, officially, the scores tell me that's the first steal for Blaylock. But anyway, it is 67-56. Missouri by 11 with 11:10 remaining to be played. We'll be back with more in a moment. Travel arranged through Continental, offering grand destination vacations throughout the world with a double your money back guarantee. Call 1-800-634 Tubbs, the head man of the Sooners. His clubs in the last 3 years, 87-8. Look at the three-point shooting stats. Both these clubs have won 3 Big 8 postseason tournaments. Missouri in 78, 82, and 87. Oklahoma in 79, 85, and 88. They're trying to repeat. No team has ever done that. From the corner, Jones.
He said Oklahoma can strike quick, and they've been doing it from that three-point line, 1 out of 11. They can turn it on, and you know, Missouri's finding himself in the same position as yesterday. Big lead. Sometimes it's tougher to protect that lead than it is to come from behind. Kansas State couldn't quite do it yesterday.
Peeler, the freshman, is Sandbody, Church, Irvin, and Coward on the court for the Tigers.
Right now, I think here's where Missouri has to have patience. They don't get the quick basket. They've got to come up, setting their offense. They were doing an excellent job of that in the first half. They have to get back to that and really execute.
Davis, Mullins, King, Blaylock, and Jones on the court for Oklahoma. And that one goes down. Peeler. Peeler with 4 in the game. 69-59 Missouri. Stacey King won't go. Peeler, good job on the rebound. And it's 4 against 3. Off to Irvin.
Boy, you can see Peeler. What a job for a freshman. Just sizing up the situation right there. Seeing where the defense is going. It's giving it off to the wing to Irvin.
Of course, a lot of people think that Missouri plays their best with the 3-guard lineup, Peeler, Coward, and Irvin, and we saw there on that fast break the effectiveness of them.
Davis now has 11 points for the Sooners, and it's a 10-point lead for the Tigers. We're inside the 10-minute mark. Peeler guarded by Mullins. Irvin. Oh, Church. He made a good move. Now he gets it back, and he is fouled. Church with tremendous effort in there, continuous effort.
Well, there's some great plays in this sequence. You're going to see a great fake as the ball goes inside. Watch the fake by Church. Gets King up there. Watch the reactions of King as he comes back and makes the block. And then Church stays right with it, leans back in, gets it up off the glass, and a chance for the conventional three-point play.
Davis committing his 3rd personal foul. Church now with 5 points, 74-61, Missouri by 13. Mullins working against Coward. And a whistle. And did they get Sandbody? Rich Daly, since taking over in mid-February for Norm Stewart, 6-4. Sandbody committing his 3rd personal. That's the 5th team foul against Missouri. Oklahoma's already committed the 7 to get to the bonus. Billy talking there, having a word or two with Ron Spittler.
He's the veteran
officials.
Yeah, the veteran official in the Big 8 conference right now. He's been working in the Big 8 since 1972.
Well, Gary, we've had good officiating in this tournament.
Yeah.
Davis underneath. Sandbody, foul Davis. Davis pushed it off, and Sandbody will go to the line. Davis has committed his 4th personal. Missouri led 44-36 at half. Curry, what about the seedings? It won't be long now.
Well, Jay, I was just thinking we're a few minutes away. A lot of people were wondering with a loss here in the tournament, would Oklahoma not be a #1 seed? I'm going to go out on a limb and say they have already been seeded #1 before this game. Now, the fellows meeting down the road may cross me up here, but I think Oklahoma was the #1 seed, win or lose this game.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
I mean, you're playing Missouri. You're not losing much if you lose a ball game to a club like this. Through the top clubs in the country.
Well, and they may be waiting to see this result to see if Missouri moves up to a #2.
That's a very good point. Missouri has a victory over North Carolina, of course, earlier this year, although J.R. Reed did not play in that game. 75-61, Missouri, 8:50 to go.
As a Carolina guy, let me point out that in the return match, the Tar Heels won.
Yes, they did. And in good fashion.
Oh, good dribble through traffic.
Peeler. Peeler has played great basketball in front of the home crowd here. He's from this area. Feed underneath. Byron Irvin's shot won't go. Oh! Coward banked it off the glass. 77-61, the Tigers.
King on the other end. When King's fired up, he comes back with Peeler. Peeler breaks out of it. Yeah, I'm going to make a point about Peeler. I think he's really growing as a freshman right there. That last play, technical, early in the season, Peeler would have come down and taken that shot.
Well, and let's point out, after we watch the technical, we'll see another one on that one. Let's watch this as the triple-headed Missouri backcourt gets involved. Whoops.
Stacy right there feeds off, and boy, Peeler takes it behind him, wraps him around the head.
The foul is going to be a technical against Peeler. Peeler came out of there and raised his arm and flexed his muscle and put on a little show. And Ron Jester said, that's enough of that. We're going to charge you a tee.
Well, we credit him for his poise on one end and learning, and on the other end, he turns it right around and takes it away.
A little freshman showboating. Boy, what a player he's going to be. Curry, you made the comment that he will be the next superstar in the Big 8.
Well, I think so, and we're going to look at the reason for the technical here.
King misses a technical. Now you watch as they move in here, and Peeler comes out of here. Now watch what he does. This is what, yeah, that's it right there. Zetcher saw that and a little more and said, I'm going to put a tee on you. Now King on the free throw. King made one of the 2 that he had, and now Jones shoots the technical. Oklahoma's basketball, 77-62, Missouri, 8:23 remaining.
The expensive thing is still its possession of the basketball. Missouri loses an extra possession, but so far they're coming out of this pretty cheap of what could have been a bad situation for the Tigers and a chance for Oklahoma to really crawl back in real close.
Blaylock looking to get on track. Boy, he can't get it to go. And it's rebounded over there by Coward. 8 minutes remaining in regulation time. Peeler into Church. Stripped away by Mullins.
Church got away with a
foul on Peeler. Peeler's a little upset with himself now. That's his second. And I think Peeler will be coming out of the game.
Watch Church try to fake Mullins with a good steal. Look at Church grab right now. Kept Oklahoma possibly from getting a good breakaway situation.
Rich Daly takes Peeler out of the game and sends Button back in.
And Peeler made sure there'd be no break on that occasion.
Mullins will go to the free throw line. Terrence, they call him T-Love, out of Reardon High in San Francisco, California.
Well, I talked about the triple-headed Missouri backcourt, and Anthony Peeler, the freshman, is the one that makes that so important. He is the third guy, the third head. Talked about the triple-headed Missouri backcourt, and Anthony Peeler, the freshman, is the one that makes that so important. He is the third guy, the third head.
Mullins with 7:54 remaining. It's 77-63. Mullins has 3 points.
So a good look at Peeler. I think a good move by Rich Daly, a freshman. The emotions are running high. He gets him out of the game. Chance to settle him down. We'll see him before this one's over, I'm sure.
King rebounded.
Rebound, the King.
King against Sandbody. Does the job. The All-American now has 27. 77-65. Missouri up by 12.
Of course, he had his season. Stacey King had his season's low yesterday, 12 points. Back again today with a human effort.
Along the line, the ball went out of bounds. It'll belong to Missouri. There's 7:29 remaining. Missouri leads by 12. We'll be right back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66. NCAA's meeting room downtown. Georgetown is seeded #1. Greensboro, North Carolina in the East. They'll play Princeton. Vanderbilt against Notre Dame. North Carolina State. South Carolina got in. Iowa against Rutgers. Arizona, the #1 seed in the West. We get that word. And also we get word that K-State will play Minnesota. So the Wildcats go against Minnesota.
Of course, Jay, that's a rematch of the regular season game, which Minnesota won.
Minnesota club has been playing very well. They got a win over Ohio State yesterday. 77-65 here in Missouri. 7:20 to go as we'll keep you updated as the field of 64 is announced here in Kansas City. And all that information to you as we go along. Sandbody off to Coward for the jumper. Comes up short. Sandbody got it back, and they've got a new 45. 7 minutes remaining to be played in this championship game at Kemper. 16,000 watching with you across Mid-America. Coward with a dandy little move in there. Coward has 15.
What a difference it makes in this Tiger ball club. He gets Smith and Coward back active and really playing up to their capabilities.
Southwest Missouri State, of course, in the tournament. Charlie Spoonhour's club. Here is a foul called as going up with a shot down there was Mike Bell, who just came into the game. Indiana's the #2 seed in the West. We get word of that. We'll be showing you some more panels of the pairings.
Jay, that is a significant gesture by the NCAA committee, I think, showing to send Indiana away from the state of Indiana, away from the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, and make them play in the West. I applaud that move, and I also think that seeing that Eastern Regional in North Carolina with Georgetown playing in Greensboro means the ACC team will probably play up in Providence to begin the tournament.
6:37 to go in this one, and it is Bell on the line. Bell gets the Sooners back within 12. It's 79-67, 6.5 to go.
When the intensity of play of the Sooners has really picked up here in the last 3-4 minutes.
Aaron Irvin out to Coward. Leonard backing along the line. Button. Turnover, 3-second violation. The 15th turnover for the Tigers. And Oklahoma's only got 7.
It's Daly's gone with Leonard back inside. Church pretty much outmanned by Stacey just because of size. He had to do it with Stacey. Stacey was taken down pretty good, and it was tough for him to deliver.
Well, but Leonard got a well-deserved rest, and now he's probably very fresh. Remember, Stacey King has not been out of this game.
Blaylock again trying to hit a long one and couldn't get it to go. Getting it into Smith. It goes, and he's fouled. Smith has been something here in Kansas City. 14 points against Nebraska, 22 against K-State. And Smith now with 16 this afternoon. Here it is.
Well, Tigers go back to their bread and butter, and that's down on the blocks, and Smith delivers. That's where they won him, and now they've got him established, and he seems to be content to go down there and play inside rather than coming out trying those 15, 18-foot shots.
Well, and he's had a rest on the bench, too. So important here in the intensity of the championship game.
Going in and scoring.
Of course, this is the helicopter. Michael Bell takes off.
Illinois is the #1 seed in the Midwest. Here is the East Region action. There's at K-State, Minnesota. Stanford will play Siena. The Mountaineers of West Virginia against Tennessee, and Duke goes against South Carolina State.
Well, I think we must have had an error up there earlier. Then the other region said Greensboro. It probably meant Providence. Georgetown's in Providence, Duke's in Greensboro. That makes more sense.
81-70. Missouri's lead is 11 with 5:30 to play.
Bell making his presence felt. Now he's been named to the All-Big 8 bench team. Got a job to cover Smith. Great leaper inside.
Missouri is the #3 seed in the Midwest. They'll play the Creighton Blue Jays at Dallas. And it's 81-70.
Means Oklahoma's going where? Southeast?
Tyrone Jones commits his second personal. Here's Nathan Button on the free throw line, the All-American high schooler out of Murray Wright.
Of course, right now they're going down to defeat unless something happens very quickly.
Leonard getting the rebound.
Well, there's a lot of time left. 11-point lead. That can go in.
Howard. Oh, what a feed. The Tigers dominating. 18 points for Smith. 83-70 Missouri.
10th assist for Coward. He said chasing the Missouri record of 12 in one ball game. And
Oklahoma will play East Tennessee State at Nashville. The Sooners are rated #1 down in that regional in the Southeast. 83-70.
Of course, Billy Tubbs will get to listen to some country and western in Nashville.
Oh, what a block by Mullins. Great save.
Great play by Mullins. Oh, he threw it away.
King wasn't looking. He wanted to go down the sideline to King, and King had his head turned. He tried the next option and couldn't get it done.
Coward holding on outside. Byron Irvin. The All-Big 8 selection has it, and he was fouled. And he'll have a chance for a three-point play with 4:23 remaining. And Missouri now up by 15, and Irvin can make it 16, and that will tie their biggest lead.
Big play right there. I was blocked out. I couldn't tell whether it was going to be a charge or an offensive foul or a blocking foul. Here's Irvin. Ducks away from the guy right there. The defensive man looks... Couldn't see who's got in there. Looked like he might have been set, but Ron Spittler, a great view because he was right behind the plays. Must have been sliding.
Well, Iowa State is in the tournament, gentlemen. They will play UCLA at Atlanta in the Southeast.
Congratulations to Johnny Orr, and nobody campaigned harder than he did here the other day.
They deserve it.
Well, he did it. They did it on their own in that first round against Oklahoma State, and I'm sure their performance against Oklahoma, which is a great one.
Well, I think Orr did a remarkable coaching job this year at Ames. King will go to the line. The foul on Leonard is his 4th. 86-70, Missouri.
It's probably down the stretch until Missouri now has bounced back. Cyclones are playing about as well as anybody.
Well, and now a chance with a terrific chance for the Cyclones for a high-profile victory in that first round. UCLA, a big name.
Big 8 with 4 teams in the NCAA postseason play.
A little partial to the Big 8, hoping yet that those Cowboys from Stillwater to slip back in here. We get some news on that because they've played some tough teams.
29 points for Stacey King.
What an exciting time of the year when you come down to this NCAA pairings, and what excitement we have here yet. Oklahoma chasing the Tigers.
Irvin a little too fancy there. The no-look over-the-head pass, and Smith was going the other way.
I don't need to tell you fellas because you've been sitting here watching it, but I'll tell you that game by Stacey King as he gets 2 more. King has never quit out here this afternoon. He's got 31.
Such a great athlete. See his quickness there again. Gets him inside.
And Billy Tubbs now screaming from the bench for Mookie to move up on these guards and start to exert some more pressure. It's getting dangerous for the Sooners.
Here is Smith's turnaround shot. Oh, my, what a tournament he's had.
Rich Daly, I think what he said, I don't know how he's reacting there, whether it was, see what I'm saying, get the ball down inside.
Trying to get some more and a foul called, and Gary and Curry and I will be selecting the fourth player of the game at the conclusion of this one.
Well, and Smith has got two hands on that trophy right now. I think, you know, this is a kid that came into this tournament on a horrid five-game slump. He was most affected by Norm Stewart's absence, and he has played a whale of a tournament.
He sure has. Timeout, Missouri. 3:14 remaining in the championship game, and the Tigers lead it 88-74. Missouri Tigers right now sailing along with an 88-74 lead under interim coach Rich Daly. Southeast region at Nashville. There's the way it'll stack up. Oklahoma going against East Tennessee State. LaSalle, Louisiana Tech. Virginia goes against Providence. Florida State, Middle Tennessee State. Alabama against South Alabama. Michigan plays Xavier. UCLA, Iowa State, North Carolina going against Southern Texas. And
that was probably the winner, of the winner between Southern and Texas.
Right. Arizona, Robert Morris. St. Mary's goes against Clemson. Memphis State will meet DePaul. UNLV in Idaho. Out in Tucson, Oregon State against Evansville. Seton Hall against Southwest Missouri State. Mr. Spoonhour's club. UTEP and LSU. Indiana, George Mason. I imagine that the general is not too pleased with that number 2 seed in the West. Bobby Knight will be spouting, I'm sure, this evening and tomorrow about that.
Well, from season on the brink to temper on the brink, I would love to be a flea on the wall of Bobby Knight's den right about now.
Here's the check of the East panels. The activity set for Greensboro. Stacey King. Well, King has averaged 34 points and 11 rebounds against Missouri in the 2 previous games. And here today, King now with 32, Gary. He gets his game up to play these Tigers, doesn't he?
Well, how'd you like to have 32 points and be 16 below your season high?
Well, that's
he
right.
had 48.
That's right, too. Here's the Providence, Rhode Island action in the East. Georgetown against Princeton. Princeton will slow it down there, you can bet. Well, I think we've given you all 64, and we'll go through those panels again. But now let's get back to the action at hand with about 3 minutes to play. 88-75 Missouri. That shot wouldn't go down for Henry. Smith underneath. Saved by Irvin. Ball pass down court.
Smart move. Smart move.
And of course, the Oklahoma
in your favor. Excuse me, Curry.
Aaron Irvin underneath, and a foul charge to Stacey King.
Of course, the Oklahoma strategy will now switch to 3-pointers. It's going to be all 3-pointers from here on in, gentlemen. Stacey King, you know, it's been a tower inside, but now they've got to go for the threes.
And they haven't been able to find their 3-point touch here in Kansas City over the last few days. Byron Irvin.
Sooners are really going to have to turn it up if they're going to break form, because as we said, no team has won back-to-back tournaments here in the Big 8 tournament play.
Byron Irvin with 23 points on the afternoon. 90-75, the Tigers by 15. There's Mookie, and he got it. A 3-pointer for Blaylock. Timeout, Oklahoma. 2:31 left. 8 points for Blaylock. 90-78. Missouri over Oklahoma. Back with more of this championship game right after this. The NCAA tournament lies ahead for these 4 teams from the Big 8. What a wonderful season it has been, and what an outstanding tournament. Kemper jammed packed for this championship game.
As it always is, Jay.
Oh, boy, it's
the
a tough
Big 8
ticket.
fans really turn out.
Coward double-teamed over there. Gets it to Byron Irvin, who is fouled by Jones.
Tough guy to foul. 82% free throw shooter.
Jones' 3rd personal. Billy Tubbs, head coach at Southwestern, and after that he went back to Lamar. 8 straight 20-win seasons for Tubbs. The Sooners 18-9 in tournament play. Missouri with a win today will go to 21-9. Byron Irvin 24 points on the afternoon. He's an 82.5% free throw shooter. Irvin had 15 against Nebraska, 12 against K-State. And now 25 here today. Hey, this Missouri team looks like they're really peaking at the right time, don't they?
They're getting it together now. There's some doubt about it in this tournament.
King is fouled by Peeler.
And of course, Byron Irvin has come off the bench for those 25,
right.
we might point out. When you have a kid like that off your bench, you are deep. A lot of people have pointed out how deep Oklahoma has been, and I don't know of another team in a long time that's had 8 men score 20 points or more during a season in a game the way Oklahoma has done, but Missouri certainly has out-depthed them today.
Well, and I think the depth of Missouri is going to hold them in very good stead in the tournament. They can come at you in waves. Has Oklahoma ever lost a game when King has scored over 30 points? I'll ask that question, gentlemen. Can anybody answer it? We're going to check. He has 34.
Well, King had over 30 in Columbia, I think, this year, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He had, that's right, the last time they played him. He scored over 30, and they did lose. So that answers that question. As he was averaging 34 with 11 rebounds a game against Missouri in those first 2.
So deja vu for Stacey King, or deja boo-hoo, I don't know which. That probably works better on paper, right there?
Yeah. All right, we're going to have Leonard go to the free throw line. The foul. Stacey King is fourth. A minute and 49 remaining. Leonard had 16 points. Peeler got the rebound.
That really hurts the Sooners. They got any chance at all, you've got to come up with a miss right there.
Peeler into Coward.
And run a lot of clock right now.
And they're doing a wonderful job of it. Foul on Bell. It'll put Smith on the line. Number 3 on Smith. The Missouri fans are standing everywhere.
Listen to the hand for Doug Smith.
Look at this. Well, it's been a tough time for the Tigers. The turmoil, of course, losing in mid-February. The dean of the Big 8 coaches, Norm Stewart,
And of course,
had
Jay,
cancer surgery.
and
Yep.
Jay, it might have turned around for this man and Doug Smith in the Oklahoma State game that they lost earlier this season. This man, Rich Daly, benched Doug Smith 10 seconds into that game. After that game, he had a call from Norm Stewart. He said, look, let him relax and just play. He did that. They came back and beat Oklahoma. And here they're beating him again for the championship.
Oh, does he get up on that?
Jones tried for the three-pointer, couldn't get it. Now it's Peeler. Off to Byron Irvin. Irvin scores more.
Well, even the helicopter couldn't get to that one.
96-80, Missouri with a minute and 10 seconds remaining.
I think one of the stories, besides Missouri's great play, still has to be I can't put my finger on what's happened with him in the last 2 ball games.
I don't think Billy Tubbs can either. 96-82, Missouri. Back with more in a moment. Today's Ford player of the game, 22 points, 14 rebounds, 10 of 15 from the field, career high 14 rebounds. Doug Smith out of Detroit, Michigan. Congratulations. Smith puts it into Irvin. Irvin is fouled. Foul charge to Blaylock. 1 minute remaining. That's 4 on Blaylock. Well, Missouri's going to get their 27th victory of the season. They'll be 27-7. Oklahoma is going to be 28-5.
Jay, we're looking at a very disappointed Oklahoma bench, and of course the NCAA tournament looms for them, but they're going from the fat into the fire. They've got East Tennessee State as their first-round opponent, but then they may meet LaSalle out of the East, which is a very strong team with an All-American player, Lionel Simmons. And to get to the Final Four, they're going to have to beat Florida State, probably, which is my dark horse for the whole thing. Florida State, a team that Oklahoma barely defeated last year in Tallahassee. And Florida State wants them again, believe me. They told me that earlier this season.
Arkansas has won the Southwest Conference Championship with a 100-76 victory over Texas.
And speaking of Texas, if Missouri were to get...
Accommodations thrown. Jones committed the foul. Church missed at the line, and back comes King with 45 seconds remaining. And Curry will let you finish your thought here in a second as King puts it up. He gets it, and he's fouled.
Well, Jay, you spoke of Texas losing in the Southwest Conference. Speaking of Texas, Missouri's first-round opponent in the NCAA tournament, as you mentioned, will be Creighton. But if they were to win that game, they would play the winner of Texas and Georgia Tech, which will be no picnic for the Tigers.
There are no picnics when you get down the road in this tournament, are there?
And Iowa State, speaking of Iowa State, plays UCLA to play probably North Carolina. So the Big 8 didn't get any breaks here in their draw.
King puts it up. King gets it back. Off to Wiley. And a foul charged on Peeler with 35 seconds remaining. Peeler's fourth. Well, Rich Daly has got to be tremendously pleased at what has taken place here over the last 3 days in Kansas City. And I'm sure Norm Stewart, who went down to Houston to get a second opinion regarding his cancer surgery at Anderson Hospital there, and got good word. We understand all things are going very well for Coach Stewart, but of course he will not be back to coach this year. And the question is, will he come back to coach at all? And that will be answered down the road.
Well, that's good news to hear, because I think everybody was scared when hearing what all of a sudden he'd gone to Houston. So
that's right.
Hearing that he's progressing as well as can be is really good news to a lot of us.
He has a son in Houston and wanted to get a second opinion there at the Anderson Center. 98-86.
This guy Coward has had a fine ball game too.
Arizona beats Stanford 73-51 to take the Pac-10 title.
And Stanford, one of the hottest clubs here lately. Arizona is really strong.
Well, it just lets you listen and watch here as we come to the last 10 seconds, and Tiger fans standing everywhere. Missouri wins the Big 8 postseason championship. Missouri with titles in 78, 82, and 87. The final 98-86. Missouri goes to 27-7. The Sooners are 28-5. And Gary Leonard working on the twine down there, cutting it down. We'll be back as Missouri is crowned the champion right after these messages. 98-86. Gary Thompson with Rich Daly.
Rich, happy days are back again with the Missouri Tigers.
Oh, boy, they just went out there. I knew before the game they were really wanting it. You know, we just got great play from everybody that got in the ball game. We played 8 or 9 people, and everybody got in there. It was just superb. It was a great victory for us.
I don't know if my observation is correct, but what I've seen a lot of times this year, is that I feel like the kids are letting the game come to them. They're not going out and trying to do it on an individual basis, which I saw late in the season.
Well, that's what we really worked on. You know, let the offense take care of itself. Let the offense get the ball inside. Hey, we've got big people inside. Let them operate. If they don't have it, they'll get it back outside. You know, it's not just 1 or 2 people. We've got a number of people that can come on, and I just thought the team, as a team, they were super.
2 guys that have been gone for a while have really come back. Smith and Coward, you've got Smith back on the blocks where you want him.
Yes, that's true. You know, they've done a great job, and then, you know, Lee was hurt there for a while, so Peeler had to step in. Byron was hurt, you know, somebody else had, but it's given everybody a lot of playing time, and, you know, we sat over there, with a log and try to get everybody just so much playing time to keep everybody fresh, and it really worked today.
Let me ask you, do you have a dilemma now? You got an all-Big 8 performer in Irvin coming off the bench. Do you leave him there?
Well, you know, it is a problem. You know, it was like, you know,
it's a wonderful problem.
It's a great problem to have, and they, you know, you just have to go day by day. It's one of those things. You know, Byron's hard to keep off. He scores points.
Real quick, you're going to Dallas. You're going to play Creighton in the first round.
Okay.
I know your thoughts are not with that, but you know something about
Okay, I didn't know who we played or where we went, but, you know, that's a pretty tough draw, you ask me, but, you know, that's the way it is. We go to Dallas, we got...
They're all tough.
Everybody's tough now.
Rich, congratulations on a great championship here. Good luck in the NCAA, and good luck to all the Big 8 teams.
Okay, thank you.
All right, back to Jay.
All right, thank you, Gary. Curry, they have just announced the all-tournament team. Doug Smith is the MVP. Stacey King, Victor Alexander, Lakeith Humphrey, and Byron Irvin named to the all-tournament team. And you have to say that Missouri really got the job done here over the past 3 days.
Well, I think so, and terrific relief for Rich Daly. You could see it in his eyes. I also thought it was interesting when Gary mentioned his first-round opponent in the NCAA, Creighton. Rich Daly, the mechanisms in his head you could see are already working. Creighton, what do I have to do? Where do I have to go? Creighton and Dallas, I got it. That's a tough draw. He's already starting to coach the next game, which is, he's learned a lot in a month. I want to tell you that.
And it's been a pressure-packed month for him. There's the championship trophy. Gary, some quick thoughts from you.
Well, I think it's just been a tremendous tournament for Missouri. You look at Irvin there, it couldn't be happier for Daly, who, as we said, has been in a tough situation. Tough for the Oklahoma Sooners. They could have been the first team to repeat as champions, but they're a great championship team. And I look, talking with King prior to the game, he says, well, I think we're really going to pick it up when we get in the NCAA play. We're really going to play inspired, and I hope they do, because they have the talent.
Well, our best to all of the teams from the Big 8 headed into postseason play. Missouri's Tigers defeat the Oklahoma Sooners 98-86 here at Kemper. Our thanks to Bob Helmers and Ted Garcia and our great director Lonnie Dale and all the crew. The final here at Kemper, Missouri 98, Oklahoma Sooners 86. I'm Jay Randolph. This is a
Tigers romp on their way to the Big 8 tournament title. Top-ranked Arizona leads the way as the 64-team NCAA tournament pairings are announced. I'll show you how your team stands.
Missouri really came out flying. Here's Anthony Peeler, lays it up. It won't go, but Doug Smith is there to jam it home. 6-0 Tigers. Stacey King was a one-man show for OU. He poured in 38 points, including that one which gave Oklahoma a brief 1-point lead. Tigers on the fast break. Mike Sambodi and Greg Church worked the give and go to put Missouri back in front to stay. Later in the first half, Gary Leonard works inside for the slam dunk. Tigers led it 44-36 at the half. Second half was all Tigers. Lee Coward to Doug Smith, lays it up and in. Smith with 22 points on the afternoon. The hot hand went to Byron Irvin. Here he hits a three-pointer. He ended with 29 points that gave the Tigers a 16-point advantage. They went on to win at 98-86. Now, even with...
We'll go to the highlights here. The action from Kansas City. First half, Stacey King loses the ball. Anthony Peeler drives and misses, but watch Doug Smith. Boom! The big guy with a follow-up slam. 22 points for Smith. First half is all Mizzou. Byron Irvin pops from three. 23-17, the Tigers lead. Irvin leading all scores. Next, it's Gary Leonard. He gets by King and throws it down. The Mizzou Tigers by 11. The Sooners would cut Mizzou's lead to 8 on the last second shot by Skeeter Henry. The Tigers are up 44-36 at the half. That was some shot. King with the miss. Then it's Peeler to Irvin on the break, and the Tigers are all over Oklahoma, 71-59. Only a matter of time. Mizzou runs out the clock, and the Tigers have that Big 8 championship, 98-86 the final.
The chemistry over the last 3 days for the Tigers was really remarkable.
Well, I think we are playing well right now. We had a couple of good days of practice after the Colorado game. I think it carried over to the tournament.
Well, I know there's been a lot of pressure, and some people say a lot of turmoil among the Tigers, but it wasn't in evidence here. You fellas really got it together.
I think we all got it together, and we listened to Coach Daly, and there was some things going on, but we just had to play through that. And I think from the first man to the last man, we were ready to end the game.
All right, top-ranked Arizona.
A party but they did get a bid tonight to play in the NIT. The Billikens' first-round opponent in that 32-team field will be SIU Carbondale. That'll be interesting. The Bills and Salukis will play Wednesday night, 7:30 at Heel Auditorium.
Again with another tray, and Arizona takes the Pac-10 over the Stanford Cardinal by a final of 73-51. Ferry could tell you how tough this game was. North Carolina jumped out to an early lead, but Duke came storming back. Phil Henderson with the big one-hander. 2013 Tar Heels. Duke with some nifty passing. Ferry to Snyder to Christian Leitner for the slam. Tar Heels by 4 at the half, tied at 66 now. Jeff Lebo to Steve Bucknell for 2 and the foul, and it's 69-66 NC. Lebo then throws one away here, but Smith will miss the 3, and Duke would have one last chance, but Danny Ferry throws up the long desperation shot. Watch it here. It just misses. North Carolina takes the ACC crown 77-74. Big East title game today between Georgetown and Syracuse. Alonzo Mourning gets the alley-oop slammer, and then Charles Smith with the nice move, and he got the MVP of this Big East tournament. Look at that move down the paint and the scoop. Second half, here's Alonzo again. He had 21 points, and Georgetown takes care of Syracuse by a final of 88-79. Well, that 64 team will meet McNeese State. Also Thursday in Indianapolis, it'll be Pitt against Ball State, Arkansas and Loyola Marymount, and Louisville takes on Arkansas Little Rock. Friday in Dallas, Georgia Tech against Texas. Mizzou will meet Creighton, the 14th seed. Florida goes up against Colorado State, and at Syracuse meeting Bucknell. Oklahoma is the top seed in the Southeast. The Sooners meet East Tennessee State. It'll be LaSalle going up against Louisiana Tech. Florida State meets Middle Tennessee State, and Virginia plays Providence. Friday in Atlanta, Georgia, North Carolina and Texas Southern. UCLA is up against Iowa State. Alabama takes on South Alabama, and it's Michigan meeting Xavier. 5 Big Ten teams made it. In the East, top seed Georgetown against Princeton. Vanderbilt meets Notre Dame. North Carolina State faces South Carolina, and Iowa taking on Rutgers. Now, Thursday in Greensboro, North Carolina, Kansas State meeting Minnesota. Stanford takes on Siena. West Virginia meeting Tennessee, and Duke will play South Carolina State. Out west, top seed Arizona against Robert Morris. St. Mary's and Clemson. Memphis State taking on DePaul, and Nevada Las Vegas faces Idaho. Also, Indiana gets the number 2 seed out west. The Hoosiers will face George Mason. LSU against UTEP. Seton Hall meets Southwest Missouri, and Oregon State meets Evansville. Well, the St. Louis U Billikens did not get the phone call they wanted today. That was a call from the NCAA. Instead, the Bills got a call from the NIT. It's not the NCAA, but they'll take it. The Billikens will play SIU Carbondale Wednesday night right here at the Kiel. Friday night, the Bills got crushed by Xavier in the MCC Tournament Finals. I'm sure that loss hurt their chances to get into the NCAA, but still, head coach Rich Grauer is content to be playing in the NIT.
Statistically speaking, you know, we got a lot of wins. We rank awfully high in a lot of categories in the NCAA, you know, team defense, points allowed, rebounding. But we seem to be very, very good or very, very bad. There was no in between for the Billikens of 1988-89, and Friday night we were very, very bad.
In the first round of the NCAA Midwest Regional. Right now in the first half of the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Illinois leading McNeese State. Out of Louisiana, the score, Illinois 14, McNeese State 10. I'll have those highlights for you coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. If Illinois wins that game, the Illini will face Louisville on Saturday. Louisville barely got by Arkansas Little Rock by 5 in the first round of the Midwest region today. Let's go to those highlights here. We'll pick it up in the first half. Great passing by Louisville. Bradford Smith to Kenny Payne underneath. The Cardinals by 4 at the half. Arkansas Little Rock had ideas about an upset. Smith stripped of the ball. Carl Brown will then take it end-to-end. 2 of his 26 points on the day, and the Trojans kept it close, but the Cardinals hang on to win it. Purvis Ellison to Kenny Payne for the Big Ripper. Payne with 17 on the day, and Louisville wins it 76-71. You know, the great thing about the NCAA tourney is the upsets. In the East Regional, Stanford got knocked off by Siena, if you can believe that one. Let's go to those highlights here. We'll pick it up in the first half. Mark Brown of Siena with a drive. Then to Steve Downey for the jam. The game was tied at 37 at the half. Second half, Siena still leading. Stanford's Adam Keith gets the bucket down low. It ties the game at 76. But Mark Brown is the hero for Siena. Seconds to go. He'll can the free throw. Siena wins it down the stretch, the final 80-78. Oklahoma won its first round game, but the Sooners almost got beat by East Tennessee State. For the past few weeks, the Sooners have not played well at all, just good enough to win, and the same thing happened today down in Nashville. Pick it up in the first half. Stacey King stripped of the ball. Here come the Buccaneers on a break. Major gear to Calvin Telford. Good teamwork. Telford getting the deuce off the glass. East Tennessee State leading by 8 at the half. Sooners finally get the lead late in the second half. Mookie Blaylock with the deuce. 72-71 Sooners. East Tennessee has a final chance, but the last shot in the game will be partially blocked, and it's short. And the final, Oklahoma wins it by a whisker, 72-71. Minnesota and Kansas State in the East region. Shot of the day from Willie Burton of Minnesota, cranking it up, and it's good. The Gophers by 10 at the half. They kept it up in the second half. Lakeith Humphrey picked clean. Melvin Newbern lays it in. Minnesota cruising. The Wildcats make a late run. This time Humphrey makes the steal, then feeds it ahead to St. Louis and Lance Simmons for the deuce. But it's not enough, and Minnesota wins it over K-State, the final 86-75. Mizzou is seeded third in the Midwest, and the Tigers face Creighton tomorrow in the opening round down in Dallas. Now, Creighton won the Missouri Valley tournament last week, beating Southern Illinois. The Blue Jays shouldn't give Mizzou much problem, but acting coach Rich Daly is a bit leery of Creighton.
They play basically close to an offense like what we play. I think they play a little bit more zone defense than we do, but they're the type of ball club that, you know, that's very well drilled. Their coach is an excellent coach, and he'll have them ready for us.
Well, the St. Louis U Billikens will find out later tonight who they'll play in the next round of the NIT. Last night, the Bills just annihilated SIU Carbondale at the Kiel. Charles Newberry was the key for the Billikens in this game. He hit his first 5 shots of the night. He finished up with 19 points and 6 assists, and the Bills won it easily by 5.
East Tennessee State came ready to play, took a 31-16 lead early in that contest, but then survived. Let's take a look at the scoreboard in the East Regional Preview. Let's go to Gary.
The Tigers went through a late afternoon workout here at Reunion Arena with their attention firmly focused on Creighton, a team they are heavily favored to beat, although Rich Daly doesn't want his players to know that.
I hope they don't read the odds line. I hope they don't know. We haven't even showed them films of Creighton.
We know what we have to do as a team. We know what we have to do as individuals, and the confidence level is up there.
You know, there is nobody in this group feeling more pressure than the seniors themselves. Church, Sandbody, Leonard, and Irvin desperately do not want to leave school without winning at least one, and hopefully more, NCAA tournament games.
Well, we've wanted it bad, I think, the last 3 years. It's just that I don't think we can make a fair comparison to the last 3 years, and that this is a whole new team. Hopefully we don't believe in jinxes or anything like that. We're kind of looking ahead, taking one game at a time.
And the first game is tomorrow night at 7:07 St. Louis time, and Coach Daly thinks he has the answer to tournament success.
You win ball games in tournaments by making free throws and playing hard. If you'll play hard and you go out there and you've got enough talent, if you'll play hard and just do what you're supposed to do, and they know what they need to get done, and get that done, then you'll have a good tournament.
In Dallas at the NCAA Midwest Regionals, I'm Gary Apple, News 4 Sports.
In the first 15 minutes of the second half, we played as well as we can play.
We don't want to disappoint our fans. Look at the fan support we have. I mean, we want to win it for them just as much as we want to win it for ourselves. So, you know, and plus, we just want to win. I mean, that's been instilled in us since the beginning of the season.
Ball State head coach Rick Majoris right there. The Cardinals The Cardinals went on an early tear off the bad pass. Pitt has it stolen back. Parrish will get the easy 2, and Ball State's up by 11. But Pitt rallied in the second half. Jason Matthews with a 3-pointer as part of a 14-0 run. The Panthers by 4, but late. It's Ball State leading by 1, 56-55. It's late in the second half.
Dome. McNeese took the lead early. Nice move by Michael Cutright. They weren't intimidated. He goes baseline, but the Illini scored the last 10 points of the half. Steve Bartow inside, put it down. Nice second half. Illinois takes over. Kenny Battle, and I want to tell you, this is what this team does. Takes it to the hoop. He had 18 points. Laurel Hamilton, go up, get it, and throw it down. Illinois 77, McNeese 71. Not a great shooting night for Illinois, but Kendall Gill said we're not going to lose any sleep over it.
Teams are going to have days like that where they don't shoot well. I mean, we've been on a good streak over these past 6 or 7 games now. And I knew we were due for one. I'm just glad we got it out of our system and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
I think we have a good ball club. I think we have a good chance to play well in the NCAAs. But, you know, the whole thing is just go out and prove that.
Channel 5's Art Holiday.
Jim West to the hoop. East Tennessee.